Guys, what's up? Um, so today I'm going to show you the integration by parts rule, and this is basically um, the opposite of the chain rule. So if you remember from Calculus 1, this is simply the, sorry, not the chain rule, the product rule from Calc 1. So if you have a term fg and you want to get the derivative, you do the derivative of f times g plus f times the derivative of g. Hopefully this makes sense, and if it doesn't make sense, please look it up or something, because um, this integration won't make any sense if you don't understand the product rule. So this is the integration by parts rule. There are four variables: u, dv, v, and du. And we have to make sure that everything on here is accounted for. So just pay attention to which variables I'm putting in which places, and this should make sense. So we can start with this problem, and I'll take it one step at a time. So I'm just going to write out the variables that we have here. We have u, and we have dv, and we'll just start with those for right now. So we're looking at this problem. We have x times x plus 1 squared, and if you try use substitution with this one, it won't work, because the derivative of this is simply 1, and you get x on the outside, which you can't do anything to get x on the outside. So if you know use substitution, then this is impossible to solve if you don't know integration by parts. So I'm going to start out by showing you which parts of this equation are going to be put into the integration by parts equation right here. So the weird thing about integration by parts is that you substitute u for the simplest part of this equation. So if you used u substitution, then you would put in x plus 1 for as u, and then usually x or a constant like 4 dx as du. And if this doesn't make sense, then don't worry about it. But I'm just kind of explaining to the people who understand u substitution but may not understand this, which not very effective order of things, but whatever. So I'm going to use x as u, and I'm going to use everything else as dv, everything else, because remember, everything must be accounted for. It's just like we're substituting, we have to substitute everything in there, and if we don't, then it's not the same problem, if that makes sense. So if you look back at our integration by parts equation, we have u and we have dv. So that's all we need in order to start this process. And this is basically just plug and chug, this part of it. And the way that you find what v and du are is exactly how you think it would be. Because, one second, because we already have u and dv. It's x and x plus 1 squared. So let me just write those out real quick. U is x, dv is everything else, so it's just x plus 1, sorry for my handwriting, that's a parenthesis, x plus 1 squared dx. Hopefully you can read that. But it's basically just this part is right here, and the x is right there. And everything is accounted for. So we were going to find du and v. And the way that we do that is just by using these equations. So du is simply the derivative of u times dx. So du equals the derivative of x, which is 1, times dx. And we can find out v by taking the integral of this problem. Because if you look, if we take the integral of v of dv, then we'll get v. And if we take the integral of this, then we simply have an integration problem. So you basically just derive this part right here. Just derive this. So what we're going to get is 1/3 x plus 1 cubed. And that's all the information that we need in order to plug and chug into this equation, and it's as simple as that. So we started with this part of the equation, which is what they gave us. It's the problem. We plugged in the simplest part for u, which is x in this problem, and then we plugged in everything else for dv. So this went to this part, and this part right here went to dv, and that's written out right here on these two top ones. So now we have everything accounted for. We're going to plug all of these variables into this part of the equation right here. And if I'm repeating things, it's just for those people who need it. So sorry if it gets repetitive, but that's how it's got to be. So we're going to plug in these variables. So we do u times v, that's what we're doing first. U times v is 1/3 x times x plus 1 cubed. That's simply u times v. I'm just multiplying these two right here. Then if we go back up, we have to subtract the integral of v du. So we're going to use v and du in this case. So v is 1/3 x plus 1 cubed. I'm just going to take out the constant right here so that we don't have to worry about it. So I'm just pulling that out. Let me write out the rest of v, which is x plus 1 cubed. And let's see what else we have to put in there. We have to put in du, and du is just dx. So this is really just plug and chug. You shouldn't have to think about it. Beyond finding these variables, you just have to memorize this equation and put them in there. So this is what the answer is, but I'm just going to simplify it a little. I'm going to take the integral of this part. And this is a really important point. If this part of the equation, the integral of this, after you do the integration by parts rule for the first time, so we just went through it one time, and this integral here is more complicated than this one, or it's the same, then I would change u for something else in the equation first, and if that doesn't work out, then you probably need to use a different rule that you haven't learned yet. So if this part of the equation gets more complicated, then switch out u for something else and go through it again. If it's still complicated, then you'll have to use a different technique. But I'm just going to, this one's pretty simple to do, so just write it out again. 1/3 x times x plus 1. Oh, I'm struggling here. X plus 1. Sorry about that. X plus 1 cubed. Then we're going to subtract the integral of this, which turns out to be 1/4 x plus 1 to the 4th. You should know this. Hopefully you do. And we'll get 1/3 times 1/4, which is 1/12, times x plus 1 to the 4th plus c. Remember that part, or else you will probably get points knocked off. So this is our answer. This is technically the answer too, but it's just more simplified this way. So that's pretty much it. It looks ugly, but this is how it's written. Maybe your teacher will show you how to simplify it further, but this is all I would do. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.